I'm Isaac Torres. I'm the CTO of our company, Buddy.
Isaac, what is Buddy?
We're a video game cannabis company. We're the first video game cannabis company. I gotta remember how to say that. Yeah.
And you guys all have a game dev background, but this is different because you're cultivating games, bundling them with edibles, correct?
Yeah. So we started as indie game developers. We were actually here at GDC last year, promoting our game, The Lost and the Wicked. And to promote that, we created the first video game weed strain with a local manufacturer up in Sacramento. So from that, we learned the shortcomings of the cannabis industry, the lack of collaboration between cannabis and gaming in a more structured form, and that's where we formed Buddy. We felt like we could do a lot better, and there was a real opportunity there for us to do something new within both the cannabis and gaming space. So
talk about how this works. You buy a game and you get edibles with it, and they kind of have different ranges based on the game you're playing or the games you're playing?
Yeah, so how it works and what we're trying to do here is, so first and foremost, we're a low dosage cannabis company, but our partnerships with developers goes into creating an edible product that's specifically meant to be used alongside playing the game. So say we work with a developer to figure out the THC and CBD ratio of the edible, the amount of THC that they want the edible to have, the strain, whether it's indica, sativa, or hybrid, the flavor, the texture, the packaging design. If there's any specific instructions they want us to put on the packaging to guide the gamer on how specifically to use it for their video game experience. And yeah, the entire goal of it is to enhance and embolden the experience that a gamer gets while playing a developer's video game.
So the next question is difficult. I got to mention a lot of hurdles here. It's not legal on the federal level. We were talking about it being villainized since the 50s. What are some of the challenges when getting this product out in only certain states or even in certain cities that allow medical marijuana dispensaries? Or just dispensaries now, excuse me.
Yeah, so again, we're a very early company. We started last May. So a lot of that time has been around business plan and legal consulting and doing prototypes and demos and designing the packaging, figuring out even things like child-proof packaging, and which it's that in itself is different for state to state, and obviously from country to country if we're gonna go beyond that. But we're planning on being across California to start, and how we're doing that is actually partnering with a white label manufacturer to get our startup goal, because there's also within cannabis levels of, you could go white manufacturer to start at the very beginning. That's probably the lowest entry point money-wise, maybe 50K. And then the second level after that is doing a micro business license, which at that point it's already $600,000. So it really scales up very quickly. But luckily people within the cannabis industry are very tight-knit right now. So it's easy to make a call and then get connected with the right person that gives you the right information. People are a lot more open to it than other industries right now. So
because your video game is literally just a game that you can buy on Steam or maybe console one day, that's relatively simple though. It's bundling your cannabis with the game that's the difficult part, right?
Yeah. So on the bundling side of it, there's some people are concerned about the connection,
childproofing. Yeah.
The kind of the stereotype of it rubbing off of it, but the whole cannabis side of things only comes. You have to buy it from a dispensary specifically, so it's only going to be shown to people who are 21 and over. There's going to be that association, but from the developer side of it, it's actually has to be a good match for us to work together, because the benefit from their side of it is the marketing and the virality. So if they're not comfortable pushing the cannabis side of it, then it's probably not going to be the best match. But if they are, then they get that marketing, they get the virality, they get to be on our social app, which does more pushing of their product and exposes them to a cannabis audience. So it has to be a good match at that point to make sense for us.
You guys have partners in major dispensaries already that you're working with to get your product out there to as many people as possible?
Yeah, so our our white label manufacturer that we're working with actually has the connections to put us into the dispensaries, so we're utilizing them a lot. We're reaching out to like local dispensaries over in Sacramento and building a connection of like local dispensaries there. And we're actually going to be doing our first run of edibles later this year alongside of the release of our indie game on console. Probably like around Q2 is what we're planning on right now. And that'll be our first run of actually having our edible products within dispensaries. So we're very psyched about that.
If sometime between now and the next few years it becomes legal on a federal level, what will that open up for your company?
Oh, that's a lot. That would open up a lot of doors. I mean, one of our biggest difficulties is, you mentioned earlier, but like from state to state, even like from city to city, the regulations, county to county, it's like the regulations are so different, so we have to account for that, and that's a lot of time between like, at the moment, like the company is just 3 people, so like trying to figure out that just 3 of us, it's a lot of work in itself. But not only that, it's the delivery of the cannabis. Like you have to go out to a physical dispensary, show them your ID, like get in there. We have to make sure that the bud tenders is what you call the people working there. We have to make sure that they're pushing the product correctly. Whereas like if we could just ship it to your house directly, then we could have like direct marketing. We could be more like widely accepted on like other social media platforms, apart from like the ours that we're like forced to do, and it's kind of like a necessity right now because of the regulations and how taboo it is on like every other social platform right now, right? So it would definitely like streamline a lot of the processes, and
I mean, the shipping thing is a nightmare in itself. I mean, if you ship, if I bought something here and shipped it to like Ohio, I could get arrested.
Yeah,
it's nuts.
Yeah, and that's where all these other businesses of like, can't remember off the top of my head, but like Weed Maps, they connected to like people that could deliver, and that's a whole loophole like in itself to actually have that be possible, right? But like, if you could just send it over like FedEx or like the U.S. like mailing service, then that's a big. Then we could that opens up opportunities for like specific business like structures. Like for us, it's like we could do a subscription service of now like we give you a new game and a new product collaboration every month, and then we could make like structures for that, and we could have like a whole streamlined process for that. So yeah, it would be great, and that's what we're actually hoping for, in the upcoming elections and like years, is that it looks like it's heading towards like federal like legalization. I mean, it's been looking like that for like a long time, so it's fingers crossed, but we're very hopeful. Yeah.
You guys are obviously neck deep. You have all the legalities and the hurdles and stuff like that. So, in your opinion, where do you think weed in general will be in the next 5 years?
In the next 5 years, it's still hard to say, because I mean, if you look at, I think one of the things that makes the market right now very like iffy is the rising like interest rates. There's not as much like investment coming in. There's not many people like pushing forward, specifically like cannabis, because like other like markets and industries are just getting impacted so much right now. We're hopeful for the next I forget like how close it was to passing previously, or maybe it wasn't on the ballot, I forget. But we're definitely looking at like more states legalizing cannabis, and the list of states legalized to like not legalized starting to
be more common.
Be more common. I was trying to find the right word, but so if it's not federally legalized like within the next 5 years, I imagine like I think we're already at a majority of the states. I forget that, but like
California, Colorado, a lot of the west states, yes.
The west states.
Seattle, Washington, yeah.
But it's very close on like other states and like past like elections. So at the very least, it's going to be more like widely approachable and acceptable like in a lot of like new states.